Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to Yeshiva YouTube Table and Able. We start a new week of Shulchan Aruch Yomi and also a new set of 100 Simanim. We're starting 201 today, Reish Aleph. We are going to be discussing the very end of Hilchos Birkas Hamazon. Tomorrow we'll be starting everyone's favorite topic, the brachos you make when you make a Bori Pra'etz, Bori Pri'adama, the rest of the brachos, Shahakol, etc. A couple of long Simanim this week. Tomorrow I think is the longest one. So today we start with one that has Daled Sif and four halachas. Aleph, Gadol Mavarech. This is titled Miho Mavarech. Who's the person that leads benching? Gadol Mavarech Afil Bab Sof. The Gadol. Now, this is what the Gemara says. The word Gadol. Now, of course, nowadays we think Gadol Hador, the biggest Talmud Chacham. But I would venture to say it's the most important person in the room, the most VIP. You got Simcha Leiner over there, and you got Shmuel Kamenetsky over there. Who's more famous? I mean, I would say Simcha Leiner is probably more famous. Or Mordechai Shapiro. Maybe Simcha Leiner is not the most famous musician. You got Mordechai Shapiro, you got Shmuel Kamenetsky. Who do you give it to? You got the Mordechai Shapiro. He's more famous. He's the Gadol. He's in the VIP. But um, I'll try to buttress my point from Ian Tolino when we talk about in a situation where you have a Talmud Chacham and you have a Kohen Am Haaretz. Which one comes first? We'll see in a second. What's the reason why we'll see the Talmud Chacham comes first, even though he's not a Yisrael. So even if he comes at the end of the meal, he just has dessert with you, and he's part of the Zima, and he should lead the benching. If the Gadol, the important person, wants to give permission to, his protege or anyone that is beneath him, a regular person, he could. That's only when there's no guest, meaning everyone's eating at a meal and they're paying for their own meal together. You go to someone's house, there's a balabayas over there. I feel in balabayas gadol, right? Even if the balabayas is greater than him, you're supposed to let the guest bench. Kadesh yivarach the balabayas, because we're going to see the special bracha that the oreya called birkas oreya that he benches. He gives a bracha to the balabayas. Ma bracha mevarchu. This is a gemara. There's a bracha recorded in the Maseches Brachas. Hirazam shalo yeva shalo yikalim balabayas hazeh. The Balai shouldn't be embarrassed. He should be successful in all his possessions. It's going to be good advice. You should have real estate close to where you live, not too far away. Well, you should the Satan shouldn't get involved in his business dealings. He should act with honesty and integrity. No bad thing should come upon him. And any thoughts of doing something illegal or illegitimate is a bad idea. Don't be honest in business. Business ethics is very important. Be sure what you're doing is 100% correct and don't cut corners. That's what he's giving the bracha. The bracha is giving to you. Being balabayis rotza. Bayis wants levater. Peru sheina rosa lahach b'dal berchasa levarach berchas hamazon ba'atzmo. He says, hey, it's my house. I want to lead the benching. Rashai, of course, he's permitted to do that because he can forego on his blessing. It's a blessing that the Torah, the Gemara accords to him. If he doesn't want it, he doesn't have to take it. He can give anyone. He has many guests. He doesn't have to give it to a civic person. He can give it, even there's a gadol there, an important person. He can give it to the katan because again, he's in charge. He's the balabayas. It's his house. He decides who blesses him or who doesn't bless him. If you have two people sitting together, again, they paid for their own meals. So the chacham who's a Yisrael, Talmud chacham Yisrael, he should not let the Kohen out. He shouldn't say, "Oh, they're discussing. No, you bench. No, you bench." Those people get into no. It's beneath. I would be honored if you do it. I don't need this honor. I have so much honor coming to me. My YouTube channel, my Instagram. Twitter's blowing up. I got everything. So you don't need that stuff. But you're a boring guy. You're not on social media. You got nothing. So. You got nothing, so I'll let you have this honor. Another person says, no, but I have all the honor in the world. I learn Torah all day. I want you to have the honor. You're living in an empty world with social media. And they say, Actually, no, we have a third person. We have Ben Seal Lang to bench because not only is he learning Torah and has quote unquote a meaningful life, but also he's living the empty world also. He's got a following on social media. So he's got both. So he deserves the honor. It's true. I deserve the honor. So if you invite me to your house, you better let me bench. So technically, the Gemara says in Megillah, Daf Chav Ches, the Gemara says that if you're Talmud Chacham and you have a Kohen Am Haaretz, even though there's a mitzvah, V'kidashto, it says in the Torah, you're supposed to give kedusha to a Kohen. One of those things is that you let him levarich rishon, to lead Birkas Hamazon, to take first at the table from a serving plate at the table, first aliyah and shul. So these are one of the things that you give him respect. So technically, you should give respect to the Kohen. Nonetheless, the Gemara in Megillah says that really Talmud Chacham Haaretz wins out. There's no mitzvah of kedashto. So technically, the Talmud Chacham could allow the Kohen Am Haaretz to do it, but he shouldn't say it's because of kahuna, because technically the kiddush doesn't apply over here for some reason. Right, he could do it. Just don't say it's because you're the Kohen. However, if you have two Talmid Chachamim, mitzvah lakdimo, Talmud Chacham who's the Yisrael and Talmud Chacham who's a Kohen, you let the Kohen come first, even if the Talmud Chacham who's the Kohen is not as learned or not as wise as the Talmud Chacham who's the Yisrael, he still comes first. Rishon, he starts when you have people speak, he's the one who speaks first, and he makes the brachas first. Finally, also in Kufas Amal Zayin Sif Yadal, where it talks about this Gimel, the Gemara in Bracha says that if someone's offered the opportunity to make a bracha, and specifically the Rishonim learn is talking about Birkas Hamazon, and he doesn't lead benching, he shortens his days. He's going to live shorter. Why? Now, the Magen Avraham says it's only talking about where you have three people benching and they're doing it ala kos. When you do it ala kos, so then everyone says you're supposed to say Berachas HaOreach. Some say without a kos, maybe you don't say Berachas HaOreach. The point is that by refusing to lead benching, he's not going to be the one that's giving a bracha to the Baal Bayis. And because he doesn't want to extend the life of the Baal Bayis, so therefore he gets the call on himself that his life is shortened. Dalid. So really, if they offer you to bench, you should bench. It's a good thing to get a koshal bracha. So if you can pay a couple of bucks, if there's an auction over there, the Baal Bayis is raising funds for his household. And he says, listen, to the biggest, I invited you over. I paid for the cholent. Cholent meat is expensive. I paid for the gefilte fish. Gefilte fish is expensive. He had salmon and gefilte fish is even more expensive. And he paid for the liver. Hopefully it was chopped liver and not those pieces of liver because that's not too good. So the sauteed liver. So, I paid a lot of money for you guys. Let's auction it off. Who wants it? You have 5 guests. Who wants it? So it's worth, this is why this halacha is prominent. It's worth to bid for Birkas Hamazon to lead benching because you get more schar for leading benching than for people, Shomei HaKaonim, that are listening, at least the Zimun. And in some places, the person who leads benching also leads the entire benching. It used to be the minhag. The person leading the benching was motzi everyone Birkas Hamazon. Now we don't do that. But at least the first bracha, according to the Ramah, he's motzi them, at least in the mitzvah of Zimun. So it's a good thing to get the koshel bracha and to lead Zimun. That's the conclusion of today's share. Stay tuned for Ian to lean on, where I talk about halacha beis over here, which is seemingly a conundrum over here. It doesn't really make so much sense, right? It says kidashto in the Torah. Does it say only kidashto to a Kohen who's a Talmud Chacham? Even a Kohen's Am Haaretz, he's someone who reads the newspapers. There was a guy, I was in the back of the Beis Medrash today, and I take out my phone, and before I start learning in the morning, I browse the news because part of my channel is Lang for Your Buck News, where I tell you in a minute or less, 5 major stories that are happening in current events, and I give you my opinion on them in 1 minute or less. YouTube Shorts, you can check it out. I think they're pretty good. I have unique takes on everything in life, every topic in life I cover. So I was browsing through my phone, some of the the news websites to see what's going on in the world. Some guy comes over to me and says, "Put that thing away. You're bringing tumor into the Beis HaKnesset." There's a Beis HaKnesset. I was in the back of the shul. I wasn't in the front of the shul. I was in the back of the shul No one was even davening there. It was just like, between davening and when the people come in for the kollel, I was drinking a coffee over there. There's plenty of people that browse through their phone, when they come from minyanim. This guy got upset at me. He said, "Put that away over here. He's a regular guy over here. You bring Tumo. The smartphone is Tumo. Yeah, I'm looking at Yeshiva World News. Tumo. That's what I was on. I was on Yeshiva World News. And there's Tumo over there. So whatever. But even if you're a Kohen Aretz, you're not Aretz. You look at the news, so that makes you inferior. There's no mitzvah v'chidash. So if you're a Kohen, if you have from family like Kahuna, we're supposed to accord you honor. So why is it that you're Talmud Chacham Aretz, right? When you go get an Aliyah, do we say that Yisrael, who's a big Gadol Ador, he gets the Aliyah? I mean, it used to be, the Gemara Megillah says that Rav um, made the bracha of in the makom of the Kohanim, but we don't really follow that nowadays. You always give a Kohen, even in Amaretz, you don't give a Talmud Chacham the Aliyah of Kohen. You have to give it to a real Kohen. So practically nowadays, you give it to a Kohen Amaretz. How could the Gemara Megillah suggest that you give to the Talmud Chacham Yisrael before the Kohen Aretz? And if he writes in the Shulchan Aruch over here that if you do it midin kohuna or mishpat, choku mishpat, because he deserves it, that's completely wrong. I have a different opinion about this halacha, why the Gemara says that. I will tell you that Ian Tolino coming up next.